Former Government Minister Mr. Dwyer Astafan believes the messaging on the importance of COVID-19 vaccination is discouraging persons from being vaccinated, and the authorities need to change their approach. Speaking to SK Newsline, Mr. Astafan suggested that offering incentives to persons to vaccinate was not the correct approach.
I believe that the government here may have failed in its approach to messaging with regard to the vaccine. Things like saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that if you want to have a carnival and jump up in the carnival, you need to get vaccinated and things like that. I don't think that helps to persuade people. I've seen a note, I don't know if it's authentic, telling employees that you will get a $50 coupon. I think that's a disrespectful thing to tell people, we'll give you a $50 coupon if you take the vaccination. You must appeal to people's reason.
The former government minister also slammed the suggestions of mandatory vaccination.
I don't think mandatory vaccines would pass the legal test. Although the Public Health Act does empower the minister to make regulations, can provide for mandatory vaccinating, I don't think it would go unchallenged in the constitutional court.
Meanwhile, Mr. Astafan suggested that concerns of job security tied to vaccination is a justifiable concern, considering the tone of some employers to their workers.
It is realistic to fear that, because if you have to take a PCR test every 2 weeks, that's $500 a month. How many people can afford that? It means you may have to stop working there, and you've lost your job not because you have actively decided to leave it, but you can't afford to stay there. So it's like constructive desertion in a marriage. You're forced to leave the marriage. You don't leave on your own accord. That in itself will have some repercussions, not just in the court, because people will go to court, but also insofar as the business of that company is concerned, because people will, in solidarity, start to boycott that business.
The government said it is mulling the constitutionality of mandatory vaccination. The St. Kitts Tourism Authority also posited its position when the tourism economy reopens, where workers in the hospitality sector who refuse to take the vaccine would be required to do a PCR test every 2 weeks at their expense to determine their COVID-19 status. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.